Do you think that America is a safe or dangerous place?
I honestly think that America is safe.
Do you feel like you've experienced any sort of discrimination or anything like that?
I did experience some, I guess comments in school, things like that.
Here, there's always that thing in the back of your head, like somebody's out to kind of cheat you or something.
Right. Hello everybody, 皆さんこんにちは、こんばんは、おはようございます。アメリカ出身のザック・パールです。今日はアメリカが本当にやばないかどうかについてのインタビューを行いました。みんなはどう思うでしょうか？では、ご覧になりましょう。Can I just get your name and your age?
Yes, I'm Joy, and I'm 29 years old.
Okay, nice to meet you, Joy.
Nice to meet you too.
So today I'm just talking about public safety in America.
Okay.
So just overall, do you think that America is safe or dangerous? What would you say?
I'd say it's erring more on the side of dangerous in today's day and age.
Why do you think so?
I think given just, I don't think I want to go too into politics, but I'll say in general, there's just been a lot of, I think, crime, an uptick in crime, especially in the city. Right now I'm in the suburbs, but coming into the city, I feel like having lived in the suburbs for some time, I think it's just the energy of the city feels maybe more paranoid.
You've been living in Tennessee.
Yes.
So how about in Tennessee? Do you think that the crime there is like also
Oh my gosh. No, I think it's very, we haven't heard of any recent, I guess, crime, or I guess the population there is also obviously not as dense as New York City. So I think there's not even an opportunity for, I think it's a small community. We're in Johnson City, so kind of middle of nowhere community that grew up with each other. They all know each other, but I know, I think there are a lot of transplants in New York too. So that brings in all sorts of, I guess, different personalities and again, just more people, more opportunity for, I guess, things to happen. Or
So you think like in like a bigger city like this, maybe there's a little more crime, but in your personal community where you're living out in Tennessee, you don't think it's really a problem?
I'm sure it's there, but I think maybe the news doesn't.
I mean, some people coming from other countries maybe have the impression that America is a really dangerous place. Why do you think they might think that?
I think from my experience, at least, so I'm from South Korea, and I think security is a big, it's something that's very important in Korea. There's always security guards out at night, and it's clean and safe. But I think coming from a culture like that to maybe a big city like New York, I think that could be a big culture shock because they're used to a certain level of safety, if that makes sense. So I think Korean culture is more, maybe it's more of a police presence or more of a security presence that makes folks, I guess, come to the United States.
Did you grow up in South Korea or were you just born there?
I did not. I was born in the United States, but my parents were both born in Korea, but I lived there for a couple years in elementary school.
Okay. So I guess as an Asian person, I mean, you're American. Do you consider yourself American?
Yes.
So as an American, but also with the Asian background, do you feel like you've experienced any sort of discrimination or anything like that?
Growing up in, again, kind of middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, I think there's not a lot of diversity there. So I did experience some, I guess, comments in school, things like that, of just folks honestly not being around, I guess, Asian people or even having Asian friends. But in the city, I haven't experienced any racism or...
So you think here, specifically in New York City, like people just have that more cultural background, like they might be more familiar, so you don't get that?
Exactly. I think there's more diversity, obviously, in the big city, and I think folks are used to diversity and Asian folks in general, and I think, but then again, you do hear of, what was it, a few years back, just a lot of targeted Asian hate, and so I think it's interesting, though, that there's a ton of diversity in New York City, and yet there are moments like that when Asians were specifically targeted. So
I'm curious to know, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but what kind of things did you hear as a child?
even something as simple as like someone moving slanting their eyes, things like that. Just the kind of childish jokes like that.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's gotten better over time?
Definitely. I think I think kids are obviously more immature when they're younger, and they, especially in a small town where there's not much diversity, there could be a certain stigma with Asian folks because they don't have, a lot of people just haven't met Asian people in that area. So I think it's just ignorance in small towns and being young and immature and maybe thinking that that's okay. But then as people grow older, of course, they get more life experience. They meet Asian people and they realize that that's not okay.
So have you personally experienced any type of like crime or violence against you or just like that you've seen?
I have not. I have not.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Of course.
Could I just get your name and your
My
age?
name's Aaron.
Aaron.
I'm 35.
Okay. So nice to meet you, man. Do you think America overall is a safe place to live?
Probably not. Yeah. I wouldn't consider America safe. Yeah.
Why do you think so?
Gun violence and everything's relative as well. You know, you talk about Korea, Japan, I mean, China. Even, you know, when you go to Thailand or the Philippines or someplace like that, you know, everybody thinks it's dangerous or a little shifty, but you feel so safe when you're there. Whereas here, you're walking down the street, you know you're probably okay, but you do one of these, you know, make sure your wallet's there and things like that. There's always, there's an element that's just doesn't feel too safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of experience in Asian countries?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel overall? Like, how does that compare kind of to here?
Oh, I feel so safe in Asian countries. You know, it's like, yeah, you never have to worry about anything really. Here, there's always that thing in the back of your head, like somebody's out to kind of cheat you or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you kind of grow up with the thought of like, oh, you got to watch out, you have to be careful.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So I've like talked to some people from other countries and maybe they have the impression that America is not a safe place to live. Why do you think they might have that impression?
Oh, TV. I mean, look at our TV shows. It's wild. There's always danger. But, you know, that sells.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of truth to it, too, you know. Yeah. Even our history, look at the 1970s, 80s. We have all the best serial killers. A lot of people have died very brightly on camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like anything that comes to mind when you think of violence on TV or movies?
Oh, mafia movies. You know, you grow up watching Goodfellas and Casino. And
Have you had any dangerous experiences here?
yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, I remember I was really drunk. I was walking through the village, and I went to this alley. Oh my God, it's such a long time ago. I pretty much forgot about this, but I was smart. I had like a fake wallet on me,
Oh, yeah?
so I just threw it and ran.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. Maybe nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember it too well. But I remember somebody started yelling at me, and I saw them pulling something out and started running, so I just threw my fake wallet and ran. I don't remember too much though. That happened though, for sure.
That happened.
Yeah.
You were just drunk.
I was young too.
Right. Yeah. Do you think that kind of the issue of public safety, do you feel like crime has improved over time in America?
Oh yeah. In America, I can't speak on behalf of the whole country. You know, in New York, yeah, it's gotten so much better here. Yeah, I feel so safe walking through New York these days compared to when I was a kid. Like 20 years ago, damn, what a difference. But in America, I can't speak on it.
So you feel like it's getting a lot better here. Would you say it's safe or not safe? Or
I would say if you're in the right neighborhoods, you've got nothing to worry about. Like here in Soho, I can walk around with my phone out, just whatever.
So I go by Nosh, and I'm 34 years old.
Okay. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So today I'm talking about public safety in America. Do you think that America is a safe or dangerous place, would you say?
I honestly think that America is safe. I think that some of the laws and rules that have been implemented is what doesn't make America safe.
Why do you think that the laws and rules don't make America safe?
One field in general is just gun control. Like the amount of mass shootings and the different things, like they don't do enough background to make sure that the right person is withholding an actual firearm.
So what makes you think, in general, America is safe?
It's the land of the free. Freedom of speech. And even though there's a lot of times that people try to not take that away from us, but you're able to live your own life. You can be who you are, what you are, doesn't matter. I think that's the most beautiful part about America. I mean, we're sitting here in Washington Square Park and look at all these different types of people that are here. They're just living. Everybody's sitting amongst each other. It doesn't matter what you look like, what religion you are, what you identify as. We're just people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you feel like having the ability here in America that we can all kind of live freely together without much persecution of who we are or what we are, you feel like that makes us safe?
No, absolutely. I think that's the most beautiful part, because if you don't have people, as in New York, it's a melting pot for all different cultures. If you don't have people from all different backgrounds, you're not going to have a policy for this person or a policy for that person when it pertains to, people get forgotten. There's so many different things, people that are marginalized. I think it's really important to have, at the end of the day, just a lot of love.
Do you feel like in New York specifically, like maybe because people in New York are so used to being around people from other backgrounds, it makes it safer?
I think so, because I think you have, it starts with a conversation. I think each person, you can have a better understanding just getting to know somebody that doesn't look like you. So, and I think there's a lot of people, of course, unfortunately, no matter where you go, somebody's not going to like the other person. Somebody, there's segregations, like just so many different things that could be taking place. And whenever it comes to like, hey, I don't, have a background or have this idea of what somebody is. But I feel like New York does make it a little bit more open. So you don't have to be so closed-minded. And some people still are. Some people still live in the 50s, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, it's 2025. Love is love. You get to be who you are. You get to do what you want to do. To a certain extent, but I think it's really important to be able to have an open mind when it comes to life, understanding, because like I said, it starts with a conversation.
So when you say it's 2025, you feel like kind of public safety has improved over time?
I feel like it has improved, but I also feel like in this current state and climate, it's a little messed up. The government itself, it really needs to continue to be challenged. I think it's very unfortunate, some of the things that have been taken away from people, things that have been allowed in past years with certain individuals that are in office. I think that it's time for people to continue to speak out, give more love, but also stand your ground too about what you want and what you stand for.
Why do you think that maybe people from different countries might have the impression that America is a dangerous place?
I wouldn't just say like media. I think everywhere, and it's depending on what you have going on, where you are in life, it could be unsafe. I think it depends on people. It really depends on people. Of course, we rely heavily on, government, but you as a person, like, do you feel safe? Do you want to give off? Do you want to make people feel comfortable and safe around you? I think with looking inside yourself first, and then also looking in the government, okay, what can you do? Are you going to vote? Are you, going to, your local town hall, your legislation, and like, things like that to see what's going on, to get more involved. It is really hard sometimes, I would have to say, to kind of look away or look outside of yourself when it comes to, hey, what's going on? Because we all have our own personal things going on in life. But I think it is really important, because if we don't do something now, it's going to continue to get worse. So I don't think that wholeheartedly, America is unsafe. There's so many people, we can look at things in, whether it's Korea, it could be Bangladesh, it could be anywhere. It could be Iran. Like, so many places are unsafe. I'm a woman walking outside sometimes at night after 11 p.m. It could be unsafe, But a lot of times, honestly, you just never know what's going to happen in life, and it's unfortunate. But if you live a day or each day in fear, you're not going to be able to live.
Have you ever experienced any like kind of crime or dangerous situation in America?
I would have to say a few different experiences when it pertains to when I lived in Philly, like on the train. And it's, you'll see some interesting things here in the city, but that just depends on like what's available. There's so many, like, we look at homelessness. I think that's a big issue as well too. So many people are they don't have access to help. I think that's a big key thing. Like, okay, you have NYPD, they're fighting crime, looking over different things, but you have a lot of people that actually just need help. They're not criminals all the time. Some people are, don't get me wrong, but they're not. Everyone isn't a criminal that's dealing with homelessness. I think that's a big key to getting the help that they need, the mental health, some food, a roof over their head. The city itself is very expensive, but what does it take to somebody, some billionaire, millionaire, to convert a building into a homeless shelter, and there's so many people that you'd never know would donate their time.
What do you think you would have to say to people maybe who want to come here but wouldn't come here because they might think it's too dangerous?
I would say come visit. Of course, like, it's not like, okay, you can go on Google and look up reviews for America. But I think it's important to do your own research, maybe connect. I know they have things like pen pals and different things like that. Really connect with others, and come visit, experience it. Like, I'm an avid, people say so many things about, like, I love to visit Paris. I'm like, oh my God, it's terrible, it's dirty, it's this, it's that. I loved it. Like, I really enjoyed it. Get to know the people, even if you don't understand a lick of what they're saying. Get to know people. You can connect. A head nod, a smile, a shared meal. You just never know.
皆さん、今日の動画ご覧になってくれてありがとうございます。で、今日の質問なんですけど、アメリカが安全か危ないかっていう質問で、個人的にアメリカが危なくはないと思います。多くのアメリカ人はアメリカが危ないという印象を持っていると思いますが、1990年からちょっとこの動画調べながらなんか統計見たんですけど、本当は犯罪率がどんどん下げています。アメリカで本当に危ないところがあっても、みんなぜひアメリカに聞いてみてください。ニュースとかそれだけじゃなくて、自分のためにアメリカを経験してほしいと思います。そこで今日の動画を終わりたいと思います。で、この動画が面白いと思ったなら、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いします。次の動画でまた会いましょう。See you again!